For those of you who don't know me, I'm Paige. I'm Ross's sister. I'm not a big public speaker, so I'll try and make this short and sweet. Ross and I have known each other for quite some time, since August 2nd, 1995. Through this time, we've taught each other a couple things, and we've learned a lot from each other along the way. Growing up in one of our first neighborhoods, Ross was always forced to hang out with us girls. He was one of the few boys, and he was one of the youngest, so he was always willing to do anything we said. He was usually pretty agreeable to whatever we said as well. I remember my mom telling me a time about when she witnessed this firsthand. One day, my mom was walking down the hallway, and she saw my bedroom door was shut, with Ross sitting outside my door, on all fours, panting heavily. She quickly asked him what was wrong, being very concerned, and why he wasn't playing with us girls inside. He proudly and adamantly told her, "I am playing. I am the dog. We're playing house." He didn't break into a smile. He was not joking. He was dead serious, and he was whatever us girls needed him to be. Now, in all seriousness, Keely, this is who Ross will be for you. He will serve you like Christ served the church. He will cross rivers and mountains for those he loves, and he didn't have to be taught this quality. This is just who he is. Whenever we would get in trouble when I was little, I would always tell my parents everything immediately in hoping to dampen the punishment. I specifically remember my dad one night was demanding answers for a resolution. After I spoke and gave him my words, Ross just stood there, shaking his head, looking down calmly, saying he could not remember a thing. This was loyalty at its finest. He didn't care what happened to him. He was only a child, and he didn't care if he got in more trouble to save me. I didn't realize it until I got older, but he is the most selfless person I know. Keely, you've truly chosen a wonderful man, and I'm not just saying this. He's also my favorite co-pilot. Most of you may or may not know, but I cannot get anywhere in a car without assistance. Before iPhones and GPS tracking, I had my own personal navigator, and his name was Ross. Mom will verify I'm not lying to you. Mom would ask me to have Ross come with me to travel with me to get to point A to point B. He doesn't scream directions at you. He doesn't wait until it's too late to make that turn. He always knew where we needed to be, and would get us there calmly and safely every single time. Keely, you have gained the greatest partner and co-pilot in your life anyone could ever ask for. Ross and Keely, it's obvious you two were made for each other. To be honest, a part of me will be forever in your hands, Keely. My running buddy, my co-pilot, my best memories you will always hold in his heart. And if I can ask you anything, guard his heart and those memories with your life. The Song of Solomon says, "I have found the one my soul has loves." I wholeheartedly believe we all witnessed the embodiment of this verse just moments ago. Ross, you are my brother. You've taught me so much in so little time. We hadn't talked in months, And we ended up with the same breed of puppy near the same weekend. Sitting in the back of the car on every forced road trip, making fun of mom and dad, everything anyone could ever want in a brother. You're hilarious and brilliant and so dedicated to everyone and everything that you do. No matter where we are in life, you'll always be my brother. You'll always be the man I look up to. You're inspiring in every way, and I'm so honored to be with such wonderful families and friends tonight. Now, Keely, you're a OB now. You're an incredible addition to our family, a future doctor and servant yourself, somebody who truly exemplifies a Proverbs 31 woman. What I've grown to admire and respect about your relationship is how stable you are with each other. Whenever you're having a good or bad day, you will always know the person you are coming home to. Your home is not where you live or where you might end up, but home is with each other and Riley. It is easy to see the comfort and joy you bring to each other, but what's most beautiful is your faith in Christ being the rock you've built your home on. Cheers to our little guy and his new bride. Cheers. Cheers.
Whoever organized the speeches really screwed me, because Paige was really good. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Amelia Barker, and me and my family have known both Keely and Ross for a very long time. I have the unique position of knowing both of them equally as well, I think, honestly, very intimately. There's not a time in my life that they weren't there, both of them. We've grown up together going to church and church camps, especially just because with me and Eugene and Keely and Redmond and Ross down here in Medford, we just look forward to our summers together, and we had every summer together since we were 4 or 5 years old. And standing here is a little surreal to me because having been so close to them, it's crazy to think that so much of our time together was leading up to this, and we didn't realize it until we're here, until now. And I can remember growing up and all of the crazy things that we would do together. It looked a lot like me with psychotic ideas, and the two of them very patiently listening and saying that they would go along. Both Ross and Keely, as most of you know, were very quiet growing up, very quiet, and I didn't have that luxury in my family, but so I remember one time I organized a car wash in the dead heat of summer at our church camp, and I can remember both of them just so willingly participating, and they ended up washing the cars, and I think I don't know quite what I was doing, but not that, and they were just there, steadfast for me from the beginning. And when we were a little older, I can remember a hike that we took, and maybe that was my idea, but ultimately it was the fault of Ross for how it ended up. But it was us three, and I think we had Katie or Brenna maybe, our sisters, and we went up to the mountain, got to the top, and then decided that we would listen to Ross about how to get down. And so instead of going back down the path like most people would have done, he looked straight down the mountain and said, "We got this, we can do this." And so I said, "Okay, that's fine." And so we went down, and it was all good until about 75% of the way. We hit 20 to 25 feet of bramble bushes. And Ross just said, "Well," we just stood there. I mean, it was like we were going to war. And Ross just goes, "I'll go first." And I said, "Well, we can go around. There's really no need to go through." And he said, this is the only way. So he went through, and like one step in, he falls into the bramble bushes and like gets stabbed 1,000 times. And so then we like have to pull him out of the bramble bushes, and then he proceeds to get back up and keep walking into them. And so then we were like, okay, like I guess we're coming. And so all of us just trudged through, like everything, like everything was hurt. And of course we were like 2 hours late to wherever we needed to be. No one had any idea where we were. We didn't tell anyone. And so we stagger into camp, like bleeding. Our hair is just completely disheveled. I'm pretty sure like it looked like we'd been attacked. And I just remember thinking that whole time, like, Ross knows the way down. Like, I trust him. Like, we have this. He had no idea. But I trusted him, and that was a good thing for us, I suppose. And then we got a little older, and in high school, we really were best friends. And we spent a lot more time together doing caravan. We saw each other once a month. And I remember it was junior year, and school was really hard for all of us. And so to keep momentum, we would Skype each other every day. We figured out how to do group Skype. And so all of us would come home, and we'd have our laptops on our beds, and we'd be doing our homework together, and oftentimes hearing Keely say that they fell asleep on the phone together. That happened to us a lot. I mean, we were together all the time, digitally of course, but it still meant something. And like we talked forever, just about nothing, truly nothing. I mean, we had nothing going on. All of us were complete nerds, but it was great and exciting, and that was the year that I think maybe all three of us had our first relationships, and so we kind of figured that out together. That was a step that we all took, and thinking about all of our first relationships and leading up to now, to think that we did that, that was another step that we did together. And then when it came time to choosing college, these jerks, we're like, yeah, we're all gonna go to college together. We're staying in Oregon, it's all gonna be great. So I did stay in Oregon, and then they all fell one by one. I was getting the text, hey, like it's gonna make more sense to go to Graceland. And I get it, like I get it. Graceland's a wonderful school, but they all left me, and they went to Graceland together, and it was the greatest decision they could have made because it kept them together, which ultimately, brought us to here. So that's very important. But once we were gone, it was the first time we were apart in our whole lives. And not long into our freshman year, I received the news that they were together. And obviously I was very excited. But it was crazy to me after all this time together to realize that had been happening. I mean, I'm naturally oblivious and a steamroller. And so I didn't see it, but as soon as I heard it, it made sense to me. And they had 4 amazing years at Graceland, and they have continued to teach me things. Keely entering the priesthood, I've just done that myself, and she has been a complete and wonderful example of Christ's love, and I have modeled, my service after hers. And Ross's work ethic, I've been extremely impressed with his work with Frito-Lay and moving to Salt Lake, just completely, alone. Like, that was amazing. I could have never done that. And to think that even though we don't see each other much anymore, to think that all of those times that we were together, walking, laying under the stars, being at church camp, all of the things that we went through was leading us to now. And all of the things that they have taught me, they've always been ahead of me in a lot of things, and they've always been so great at teaching me and helping me catch up. And to think that this is just another step, that they're showing me the courage that it takes to love another person. And I'd love to learn that courage, and I would love to be as great of a partner to someone as those two are to each other. And I would love to imagine the rest of my life with you too. I'm really proud of you. And I'm really happy we're all here. And I would love for you to raise a glass for the last time tonight and wish them a lifetime of happiness that I certainly look forward to with them.